The market chops as it awaits showtime. Will it be a bull stampede or a bear avalanche? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that both markets had a downside setup, but they mostly grinded sideways to up on Monday, awaiting a plethora of earnings as well as GDP and the Fed. So this week, we'll have a lot of catalysts that should give us an idea of where we're at exactly. I'll get into all that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, we do have a ton of catalysts this week that should give us an idea if the top is in or we need to push a little bit higher. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1 hour futures chart for the S&P 500. And what we're looking at here, they did push higher over this wave 2 high right here, but not too uncommon. They are still right in that 618 area, and it was the 1.0 of an ABC off the bottom. So if you measure from the bottom to the top of this wave to the bottom of this wave, the 1.0 extension is exactly where we hit, and then they started to come down from there. Now they have bounced a little bit, and they might grind a little bit higher even over this number, but as long as they stay under 45.97, there's still a decent shot for this downside setup. If they do push over 45.97, that does make it more likely that they're going to go challenge this high and very likely try to take it out. And this could coincide with wave 2 on the NASDAQ. If you remember back when we hit the all-time highs, the NASDAQ topped well before the ES, and the ES went on to make another high and then started following the NASDAQ down. So it would make sense if the NASDAQ is going to go hit its wave 2, when we look at the NASDAQ chart, we'll talk about that. That would push the ES up and likely hit that 46.20 to 40 area, which was our next target worth of fib. So 45.97 is the key number to watch. Doesn't mean if they go above that, we're definitely going higher, but it is a standard resistance area on an up move, the 764. You don't really want to see that get breached. Once it does, more often than not, we go up and test the high and usually break it eventually. So we could see kind of a move up to the high, reject it, and then come back and take it out, something like that. But overall, right now, the move off of the low does look corrective. So overall, I would expect them to hold and then try to push down. But again, we have a bunch of catalysts this week. We could see a lot of different things happen, where the market shoots higher first early in the week, potentially on earnings, and then comes down later in the week on Fed or GDP. So a lot of different things pushing the market around. It's going to be a week that should create some volatility and should give us kind of an answer of where we're at, whether the top's in or we're going to push just a little bit higher up toward the 46.20 to 46.40 areas. Over on the NASDAQ, same story, only a much weaker market. The ES has been stubborn and was a little bit stronger, but on the NASDAQ, they didn't push quite as high. They're still well within the range of the 5 waves down and potentially the alternate path, which would be that we're already in wave 3. So the NASDAQ would look like its prime count would be that wave 1 completed to the downside. We had that 15,461 target. It got pretty close here, around 15,480, I believe, so just about 20 points short of our target. And then started to bounce, and it still can push down for another low. It has not invalidated or said that we can't go lower. It's just kind of chopping sideways. So the NASDAQ more chopped than anything overnight. But the primary is we would count this as 1. Then we'd look for an ABC back up towards 15.8 to 15.9 for wave 2. Then we'd look for a 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and down. Now this wave 2 up, this ABC up, would likely push ES to new highs. And so that would be where that 46.20 to 40 comes in, and then they can align to the downside after that. So that's what we would look at for the NASDAQ's primary count. The secondary count on the NASDAQ would be that we're already in a wave 3 type setup where this is 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and then there's a 1, 2 here. And then we would have to come down and break 15,326 in a direct manner without taking out this wave 4 high at 15,718. So over 15,718 would invalidate this count, but as of now, they do still have the potential to push directly lower in a wave 3 where they would break 15,326 and continue the move down from there. So those are the two paths we would look at for the NASDAQ. Either they've completed the move here and we'd look for a bounce to 15.8 to 9, or we would look for a continuation to the downside where they break through the pivot and would target 15,804, this low right here on this B wave. Right there lines up with the 1236 fib. So that is something to keep an eye on when there's confluence between fibs and support. It would make sense for them to come down in here, reject it, bounce back up like normal wave 3 action, then come down and break it, bounce back up, and then down again. So NASDAQ does have its downside setup in a much better place than the ES. If we do, however, see that wave 2 on NASDAQ, we would likely see a new high on ES. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to the webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans that both come with a 7-day free trial. Because I want you to get in there, I want you to make sure you love it, and I want you to become part of our trading team before you ever spend a penny, and you can cancel at any time. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners course. This is an a la carte course, and it is 25 videos where I go over everything, including an introduction and mindset, every chart tool and setup you will need so that you can follow the waves and understand how this works, as well as each wave broken down, all of its failure points, when you know you have follow through and success, and everything you want to know about the Elliott Wave setup. This course is already helping traders, as you can see on the screen. And the really cool part about it is if you don't want to pay the $67, it is included in both monthly plans. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are on the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing trade, which means our trades can last anywhere from a few days to a few months. So we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, if you are interested in day trading as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that just crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you huge multiples on your money, and it's how he structures his trades that's so unique. It's something you really have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, averaging 3 to 4% gains per week, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. Okay, the key takeaways for today. Over on the ES, it's been a little more stubborn, but it did hit its 1.0 in reverse. As of right now, as long as it stays below the 45.97 area, and that doesn't mean a penny above it, it can spike through it and come down. But if we see a sustained break of 45.97, it is very likely we push the all-time highs. But staying below that and breaking this low down here at 46.50, then 45.52, would put us in a more likely wave 3 situation, which would target 45.28 next. Over on the NASDAQ, they have a much better setup. They have either just completed 5 waves, and we would expect a bounce up to 15.8 to 15.9 for wave 2. In that case, we would look for higher on the ES as well. And if not, we could already be in that wave 3 with a shallow wave 2 here. That would be indicative of us breaking below 15.326 directly and then getting down to 15.205, ultimately targeting that 15.084 area. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.